I just finished a session with someone and it's hitting me in all the feels. I'm filled with so much gratitude right now. And I'm realizing this is such a checkpoint moment for me in my life. This morning, I was also guided to listen to an album that I would have been listening to over 15 years ago, probably more. Probably around 17 years ago, I was into this album, and I feel like that's such a good way for Spirit to gift to us that knowledge of who we are, who we used to be, how far we've come through those moments in song and sound that we forget a lot of these songs. Like, you can't just listen to one song, you got to listen to the actual album, and it will take you back to realizing how far you fucking come. So if there's an album that's hitting you right now as I'm saying this, I want you to go and listen to it over the next few days with this eclipse energy. These eclipse energies, they're amazing. I am realizing how much they truly help us bring these things to the surface to heal. Like I know, but man, when you feel it, when you see it, when you're going through the turns of this, it truly is magical. Now, this checkpoint I'm going through right now of getting to see that all of these horrible, hard things that I've had to go through in my life are making me a great reader, a teacher, a healer, a mum, a person. And I'm getting to share the blueprint of how I saved myself, how I made myself somebody that not only did I love and respect, but I actually like. And to be able to say that out loud is huge. I'm not about to start a pity party here, but I'm going to explain a little bit about me and who I am and how I came to be in this industry so that you can understand for yourself that every little thing that's happening to you in this world, especially the bad, is happening to shape you into being the greatest version of yourself. We choose the bad things that happen to us in this life before we come here because we know we have this higher plan, we have this higher calling, and we need these things to happen to us so that we can step into that. And I'm realizing that now more than ever. So, a little bit about me. My abilities started from a very young age. I didn't know they were abilities. I just thought I was different for all the wrong reasons. I was born into a very large family who I do truly love, but I don't have really anything to do with, and I haven't for a long time. I was very different to them, and I felt very alien because of it. My abilities gave me a sense of empathy and knowledge and wisdom that I didn't know where it came from. And it gave me such a. I could not be in denial for what I felt in a room, for what I was experiencing in my life, what I saw other people experiencing in their life. And I was surrounded by people who had been taught to be in denial and pretend they weren't feeling what they were feeling. And it made for very difficult relationships, to put it lightly. I'm not saying I was easy to get along with at all. I was not. I went through many dark moments in my life that made me very clouded to what was truly going on within in myself. I lashed out at other people. I reacted in ways that were toxic for myself. So I'm not excusing any of my behavior or actions either. I was also someone on a learning journey. I'm just trying to get you to understand that every single thing that happens to us is for a good reason, and it is all shaping us into who we are meant to be. And all of it, every single version of myself, has brought me to where I am today. And to be able to sit back and look at this is amazing. Now, because I was born into a family that didn't really like me, and who I truly am, I believed wholeheartedly that I was a bad person. that I was a horrible person, that I was a shit stirrer and a troublemaker, and I treated myself in that way. I attracted in more people who didn't like themselves and didn't respect me because I didn't. Our vibe attracts our tribe, truly. So for many, many years, I went through more and more different experiences that were very bad for me. I was very lucky to become pregnant at 15. I know that sounds weird, but I was. I was very lucky to become pregnant at 15, and I had my beautiful daughter Holly at 16, and she helped ground me and make my life a more, even though it was still pretty bad, I became a lot safer person for myself to be around. I got out of a heavily violent and drug fueled environment because of her. My love for her and my understanding that she deserved better and I was the only one that could provide that gave me the motivation that I didn't have to help myself. I loved her, so it trumped the hate that I had for me, the destruction that I had for me. So this is just a little example for you of who I am and why I came to be in this industry is because I had to learn how to save myself, how to be better to myself, and through that it led me into the spiritual world. I was always meant to be here. I didn't think I was meant to be a part of this because, you know, everyone in the spiritual world was so like namaste and peaceful and zen, and I was so much like rah and like not like that. I swore. I grew up in Logan, you know, so like I looked at these people and I was like, I don't belong there. And then I was gifted with some beautiful teachers who were very much like myself that made me realize that no, the people who have gone through this shit are the ones who are good at this because we understand the mechanics of it. We didn't learn it from a book. We learned it through the depths of our own darkness. So, yeah, in order to save myself, I had to truly dig deep. I had to get to know myself on levels that were absolutely terrifying. They were shameful, they were confronting, and sometimes it was fucking beautiful. But now I have so many different blueprints and maps that I truly lived within myself that I now get to pass on to other people. And this is like, I love my job. I love magic so much. I love all of the cool things that we get to do together. But in these moments, I don't want to cry. In these moments where I get to go back into some of the most darkest days of my life, and I get to take that information of how I saved myself and how I got out of that in a positive way, and I get to hand that to someone else. That is why I do this. That's why I'm great at what I do. To feel like I can see someone in a dark ass room that I am very familiar with and be able to hand them a hand of light and go, this is the way, babe. This is the way that you find yourself again. This is the way that you trust yourself again. This is the way that you love yourself again. You can be the person that you respect and that you're proud of. We are not, it is not our fault that we go through so many of the things that we go through in this life. It is not our fault that people have treated us the way that they have, but it is our responsibility with what we do with that. We are shaped by so many of the traumatic experiences that happen to us. But at the end of the day, we get to choose what shape that is that we forever become. Who we are is in our hands. And through better choices and compassion for ourselves and accountability, we get to completely change our life. If you don't like who you are, if you don't like the way your life is, you can change it. And I am so much proof of that. Now, I haven't really done an about me on here. I will go into it one day properly, but I have suffered depression for 36 years. And I'm not just saying a little bit, I'm saying a lot. I first tried to leave this world at around 6, 7 years old. I have attempted that so many times in my life. But at the end of the day, I truly wanted to be here. I knew I was here for a bigger purpose, a greater purpose. And I am so grateful for all of the versions of me that got me to where I am right now. I needed all of her to be who I am today. Now, I could go on a rant of all of so many of the horrible things that I've been through in this life and explain to you of how grateful I am for those. But I don't want to go and, go on a negative, it's not really a negative rant, but I just need you to understand that every little bad thing that's happening to you in your life is happening to make you into the best version of yourself. But you get to choose whether or not that makes you bitter or it makes you better. If you are somebody who is struggling to enjoy this life, to enjoy who you are, please reach out. I would really like to help you. I do shadow work sessions. We have to do a lesson first before we get into those, but I can help you with a reading. I can help you with Reiki. This is what I'm put here to do, and I fucking love it. I don't do surface level readings. I don't do readings for entertainment. There's plenty of people out here that do. So if that's what you're looking for, please go find one of those people. But if you're truly looking at changing big things in your life and getting onto your highest timeline, meeting the higher versions of yourself and integrating the lower versions into something that's of purpose, of a service, rather than a shameful little gremlin that lives in the background waiting to jump out and be triggered at any moment. I am here for the people who are struggling. I am here for the people who feel like they're about to break. I am here for the people who want to help themselves. And I feel so much more in my purpose than I ever have before. The difficult things that have happened to me, I'm so grateful for. And I love that I get to use them as a tool, as something positive. And I get to understand that everything is happening for a reason. I get to understand how to help people from all different backgrounds, through all different traumatic experiences, through grief, through domestic violence, through depression. I understand now why my life has been one long dramatic rap song because it's made me great at what I do. So if you feel like I could help you, please reach out. I'm no psychologist. I am no counselor. I am a spiritual worker. I will tell you what you need to do, but I will do it with love and compassion. But you have to be ready for me. I also just do, normal readings, but this is what I live for. Anyway, thank you so much. If I can help you, reach out. Love you guys. Bye.